I actually don't know what all the hoo-ha was about. I feel like I never left, to be honest. Holy shit! We're an hour and 5 minutes in.
Guess who's back? Can't miss a party pump, bruh.
On a real note, strength for this Ironman build is going to be super minimal. I never used to do much. I just used to target my weak areas, top of my hammies, bit of swimming stuff. So I'm just going to keep it super simple. 3 or 4 compound lifts for a bit of testosterone, but a little bit of accessory around that. 45 minutes to an hour a week. That'll be it. I'll be looking to stack all the volume on the bike. We got the chooks smoking. 3 organic pasture-raised chickens. These are Strongy's chooks. No growth hormone, no BS. They're like 2 fucking kilos each. Nothing like a Woolies chook. So I'm gonna induce the smoke for 1 hour and then get them in the oven. Maybe wrap them. Good morning. I have just set up. Last night was my first shift at work this week. Check out our little bedrooms. Heading into this week's YouTube video, I'll give a bit of a review from last week. Talk about some of the, I wouldn't say issues, just some of the unique situation that we're going to have to tackle in this build to win Cairns. Last week all went pretty good. Most of it's in the green. 12 hours total training for the week. 7 hours on the bike, 5 hours of running, 10.5K in the pool. Coming into this week, I think I've programmed 15 hours. So another 7 or 8 hours on the bike, 3 4K swims, pretty standard, and about 3 runs. So I've got a treadie, run, and then I've got 2 hours on Sunday. This is why I want to start this YouTube series. I think 90% of athletes that aren't full-time pro are tackling these issues. The age grouper that's training for a full Ironman, has kids, has a full-time job, is way more admirable to me than a pro that trains for the first 6 hours in the morning and then watches Netflix all afternoon, eats, sleeps, and repeats. The theme of my build is being flexible. Triathlon's not my priority. I've been very clear about that. Priority is Ella and the family, Maple movement, and then it's going to be Ironman after that. How I prioritize my days, weeks, I'm setting my priorities, so when it comes to making a decision, I can make it very easily. To kick off this week, it's already looking rocky. So I've got 3 24-hour shifts. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and I'm gone for 24 hours. We do have the ability to do some PT at work to keep fit for duty. It still definitely throws a spanner in the works of full Ironman training when you need to be doing long rides, you need access to a pool, things like that. So last night was my shift in the control room as well. So I only got 4 hours sleep last night. We're in the control room at 1 a.m. So not only does it write that 24 hours off, you can't go out and expect to train today with intensity or even absorb training if you've slept for 4 hours the night before, HRV shot. So yeah, another 24-hour shift tomorrow. I should have the ability to rest through the night as long as we don't get any jobs. It's going to be interesting to see what this weekly volume comes to. But I will do a weight check today. We'll see where we're sitting 7 days after zone 2 training, see if the body's shifted at all. And I'll bring you through a bit of the Maple stuff as well. But basically all I did this morning was cross over some of the Maple team stuff, tally up the apparel we need to get. Yeah, there's some potentially big stuff also happening with Maple, which I'm working on regarding manufacturing. Yeah, looking at a few different options there. But we haven't had a production run that hasn't had issues. On the last production run, we had 35% of stock damaged and we were held liable. We wear the cost of that. So any growth that Maple could be going through, every single production run, all of our margin for growth has just been eaten up. So yeah, making some tough decisions there. Alright, so I just went through my program a little bit. I've made some changes. So today we're just going to do a 60 to 90 minute zone 2 run with a little bit of incline. It's nice and cool because of the rain. And then we'll get into some Maple stuff through today. A wet 90 minutes. I did half an hour, 15 minutes up the yellow arrow and down. I was meant to loop it with my aerobic hour, but I couldn't. I like to sort of like get a bit of incline if I haven't run in a couple days because it feels like it just wakes everything up. Your glutes, your knees, everything. So yeah, 15 minutes up, 15 minutes back. And then I did an hour loop into town, all very flat. 59 minutes, 12K. So just averaging that 5 minutes a K. With all the rain, it was super cool. Hold back a bit today. I just wanted to run. and I had one gel after the incline. I had a lighter breakfast this morning. Just a couple apples, some creatine and organs. On easy days, I'm just trying to not stuff my face with truckloads of rice, as I'm a heavy boy. Something that I used to struggle with my racing, and I used to try to get down to a race weight and be super skinny, and I did one race where I got super light, like 70 kilos, and I didn't win that race. It was in Geelong. I ran pretty decent, but my bike was horrendous. Since that day, I threw all my scales out, never worried about body image and eating. Healing my gut, I sort of found the animal-based diet, eating a lot of red meat, a lot of clean carbs, no seed oils, no processed shit. It can be called a diet, but really you're just eating whole foods and nutrient dense. When you have the nutrients in your body, you don't get hungry. Like, I get to work, pull out a steak, everyone looks at me like a madman having a steak for brekkie and some fruit, and then I don't eat for 6 or 7 hours because I just do not feel like eating. Whereas when I used to pump carbs and oats, bulk carbs, like processed carbs, oats, I would be ravaging all day, just thinking about food. I'd wake up, I'd be hungry, I'd go to sleep, I'm thinking about food. So big one for me has been, like, honestly, just eating whole foods. And whole foods is your fruit, meat, honey, maple. Obviously maple in and around exercise. I don't think people should weigh themselves. I don't think calorie restriction works long term. You should go for a more sustainable approach, and that's whole foods, nutrient dense foods, good exercise, and good hormone regulation through all those good routines, and you will find yourself a much happier, healthier human, 100%. On my weight for the purpose of this Ironman build, to see the shift from Hyrox to Ironman, because there's no doubt going to be some muscle loss through the high amount of zone 2 and high amount of cardio each week. Weighing myself the other day, for the first time in 2.5 years, that I've put on 7 kilos since triathlon, and I was actually unaware of it. I knew I felt stronger, I knew I looked better, but I was super unaware of it. I don't want to promote people trying to get skinny. That's not what we're trying to do. Let's go. Chicken's got a little pho. She's been craving that. Good morning. 3:57. Back like old times. This week hasn't been very good, to be honest. Last rode on Saturday and Wednesday RV, and I still hadn't rode in 5 days. I just hadn't been able to ride. That work shift on Monday rolled me a bit for that day, so obviously just did that 90-minute easy run. And then yesterday I was just real busy at work all day, and I managed to get 90 minutes in the RV. This is where my life's at now. I'm super grateful to be able to be doing the Ironman, but it reminds me why I stopped. Ironman is not very conducive to the rest of your life. Volume target that I set on my training peaks, I'm gonna try regain some late weekly volume and see if I can continue to hit that. Bloody bored on this thing. We're an hour and 5 minutes in. To mix it up for this last hour, I don't know, 10 minutes at 240, 5 minutes back at 200. 10 minutes at 240, 5 minutes back at 200. Heart rate's still staying in that zone 2, 16-degree aircon on me. So I'm gonna break this shit up. Boom. Ride and run. Finished. And it's 6:30 a.m. How good is that? Just need to do an easy swim later and heaps of maple. Boys, some more roommate, and got myself a roast. That's from a cheaper mob there, Bulk Meats. They rarely usually have beef with yellow grass-fed fat like that. That's beautiful. And dark, rich red meat. Nutrient dense. If anyone sees me getting around the local pool or the Esplanade with a fucking maple tattoo on my chest, it's not permanent.
I need to test them.
You need to put water on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Come on, here. Come with me. Do you like surprises?
Do you like surprises?
How's this ridiculous tattoo I'm getting around with? Like, it looks good, but a good day. Anyway, 90-minute ride, 90-minute run, and hour swim. Get out on the roadie tomorrow and do 3 hours aerobic. First sort of full day off this week, so I can not set an alarm and still get 3 hours in on the bike.
this to the random shit we've done for making.
At 5 a.m.
Yeah. What are you doing?
What a wild woman. Basically just justifying why she rails thousands of blokes. Chris Williamson potties, how good. Just visualising the Ironman, you know. We got some Fred again playing. I held off from music till about 90 minutes in. Dopamine rush, you know. I'm about to tackle Granadilla. Gear selection into the hill was horrendous. Can't find them, just grind them, eh? Holy demon. Good hill, eh? Oh, Pogacar's out of the saddle. Thought I was meant to be doing zone 2 for a month. I actually don't know what all the hoo-ha was about. I feel like I never left, to be honest. I'm gonna win Cairns Iron Man in 4 months, and I'm gonna do it on straight maple syrup. Holy shit! Yep, we still got some charge after Ella left it in the car for 40 minutes on.
Okay,
No, she didn't. It's my fault. I launched it in the window on so she could film me riding, and it went down in a... Look at that. It's gonna be a nice little dinner. Checking over the training. For me, which is a big one. And checking over Chook's handiwork with last week's YouTube video. Good series coming. Listened to last week's YouTube video, gave it the all clear. I don't want to hear myself harp on about the whole training program for another 8 minutes, and I'm sure you guys probably don't want to either. This week's probably going to be 16 to 17 hours. A few hours up from last week. 8 hours of riding instead of 7. The run mileage will be at around 52k. Swim just stock standard 12k. We had to adapt and change the weekly program with the 3 work shifts and the night shift and whatnot. Nothing too crazy, no intensity, no specific sessions, just zone 2. Another day, another sub. So Ella's just said, I need you to leave me alone for 15 minutes. I'm in a creative space with content, so I've left her. Got to have my subs this morning. Organs, testicle, and then liver here. Liver's rich source of iron, heaps of other nutrients. Bioavailable is the main thing. You can have a lot of supplements and you pee them out. You know, you drink a Barocca, you look in your piss, you've pissed most of it out. Organs and real food, body knows how to read it, process it, and utilize it. That's our approach, real food. That's what we consume in our subs. That's maple, creatine and organs. That's it for us. Last activity, 2.2k, huge longie. Last night, Ella made a beautiful healthy dessert with heaps of like dark chocolate and coconut. I had a huge bowl of it right before bed, forgetting that dark cacao has a fair bit of caffeine, especially if you have a bit of it. And I don't do any caffeine at the moment, and I was just up all night, wired, in and out of sleep. It's a forced rest day. I have to delay the training a bit, but I got work today anyway, so I'll just take it easy and do some maple. Like I started running 3k and I knew I could have got it done, but whether that would have been proactive for the build is a different story. Because of my average sleep last night, I'm gonna default to a bit of a recovery day. Just really trying to maintain testosterone. So sun, clean food, good sleep, get a reset for tomorrow. I like to think of it as like drawing a line in the sand. What happens, happened, bounce back tomorrow. Just sat in the sun for 20 minutes. That's like my simulated sauna. Just under 10 degrees, 9. That's what you want. Last time I was getting in ice baths, I was getting in butt naked with 20 Japanese blokes. That is a beautiful thing. Good morning. I just set up to do an hour spin on the bike and a 90-minute run off or 2-hour run off on the treadie indoors, and I got 10 or 15 minutes in and just went, nah, no way. I think it's just a lot of shifts this week and a fair bit of training, so I'm just gonna put another line in the sand, step over it, and have a cruisy day today and launch into some training tomorrow. If you're not training, why not have a steak and some plantains at 5 a.m. in the morning? Might have a decaf coffee and that'll do. God's country. Beautiful. Boom. Get the Garmin Vectors.
Surely this counts as time on the bike.
Bike stuff. I reckon this is 40% of the reason I quit.
100% of the reason that you quit.
The Garmin Vector, I only take this style of cleat, which is called Look or something. Look cleat. I've always run Shimano. So I'm going to change over my cleats. They probably need it. Now we're going to have to run new cleats for the TT bike as well. Logged out, like, look at that.
Yeah,
it's just ripping with my hammies.
Expensive sport, isn't it?
It's fucking unbelievable.
How much have you spent already? And we're just like, it's only been week 2.
$2,000. Just to get back into it. And I have everything. Not ideal. I am really starting to not worry, but worry if I can do this, if I can actually win Cairns. It's my life is a bit hectic, but we're here.